Today's episode, I'm going to be teaching you how to silence those voices inside your head so that you can keep going, so that you can get to the next level. So, let's first talk about the root of where this fear comes from. For some people, it's from how you were raised. Sometimes people have parents or people around them that don't want you to make them look bad. Maybe they're like, well, you know, I can't believe you did that. How do you think, what do you think people are going to think of us or think of me as your parent? And so that could be something that early on can get into your head and become part of who you are, worried about what other people think, controlling your actions. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Freedom Factory. Excited to be back with you guys another week. Back from Australia. What an amazing trip that was. If some of you guys are keeping up with me on social, you saw that I was over there for a little bit working with some incredible people. And along the way, I get to listen to a lot of other podcasts, read books, and interact with people. And it really is amazing when I'm interacting with people that either own their business or are wanting to get in business for themselves, how much fear and really the fear of judgment plays into someone's actions and, of course, future success or failure. That's what the title of this topic of this podcast is going to be this week. And that is overcoming the fear of being judged, because it's a big one. To me, it's what separates almost everyone from being successful in business and not being successful outside of doing the work is this topic, the ability for you to be able to move forward when other people think you shouldn't move forward. So let's be real. Most people are not afraid of failure. They are afraid of looking like a failure. That's a fact. Early on for me, I had a lunch with a guy. I won't get too much of the details. I think I've talked about this in detail before, that I wanted to join my business. And he basically embarrassed me and not in front of everyone, but I was just him and I at lunch. But what he said really, really kind of set me back a little bit. And I had to make a decision on what I was going to do with that. He wasn't so much judging me, but what he said hurt. What he said stung. What he said made me think maybe I had made a bad decision. So in today's episode, I'm going to be teaching you how to silence those voices inside your head so that you can keep going, so that you can get to the next level. So let's first talk about the root of where this fear comes from. For some people, it's from how you were raised. Sometimes people have parents or people around them that don't want you to make them look bad. Maybe they're like, well, I can't believe you did that. How do you think, what do you think people are going to think of us or think of me as your parent? And so that could be something that early on can get into your head and become part of who you are, worried about what other people think, controlling your actions. So the natural response to that is, I don't want to embarrass my family, so I'm not going to do anything. And so I'm not going to step out and take a chance because that might look bad for my family. So maybe that's somehow your childhood conditioning, the wiring from a child sometimes plays into how people think or how they react to judgment. I can tell you a real big one is social media. Social media, in my opinion, is horrible for people who have a comparison problem, because most of the stuff you see, no one puts the bad stuff on social media. They're only going to put the good stuff. And a lot of times it's the filtered, exaggerated stuff that's not even real in the first place. Right. But the reality is the root of this fear of being judged, is in our control. And something that's said to you doesn't have an effect on you unless you already believe it to some degree. What someone says to you has an effect on you when you believe it to some degree. Let me explain. If someone comes up to you and says, you know, your green hair is hideous. Well, you know that you don't have green hair unless you have green hair, but most people don't have green hair. You get the point. If you don't have green hair, you know you don't have green hair. So if someone says to you, your green hair is hideous, you're like, what are you talking about, man? But what if they said, you're overweight? Oh, well, if you think to some degree you're overweight, then that's going to have an effect on you. And by the way, most people think they're overweight. And, you know, some people probably could lose a little bit of weight, but not like, you know, to that extent, right? So my point is, if you believe you're overweight and someone says you're overweight, then it's going to affect you. It's going to hurt. If someone, I don't think I need to elaborate. I think you understand what I'm trying to tell you. You only believe, or things only hurt you mentally if you already believe that to some degree. So what's the cost of this? The cost of believing into what other people are saying is enormous. In business, it's missed opportunities, it's missed relationships, it's business stagnation, and really regret. That's what ends up happening. Because if you're waiting for everyone to like you before you move forward, then you're going to be waiting forever. If you're waiting for everyone to think your next step is a good step, you're going to be waiting forever. And that's the problem with being fearful of what other people think, is it puts them in control of your life. So how do we break free? How do we break free from this cycle of fear of judgment? Well, one thing you have to do is really get good at doing what you're saying you're going to do. You have to start getting confidence in yourself. People that lack confidence are people that are not doing the do. They're not going through the motions. And so when you're going through the motions and you're having those small wins, you start to get confidence in yourself. This may sound kind of really simple and elementary, but this is how everyone, myself included, this is how I did it. Got to the point where I believe I can do things when other people can't. And it's because I do what I say I'm going to do, even when it's hard. So let me give you an example. Coal plunging, for one. You guys have seen the whole craze of coal plunging, and there is a huge, huge physical benefit to coal plunging. But for me, one of the unspoken benefits of coal plunging is the mental strength you get from doing it. The mental strength you get from doing what's hard. Like most people will say, I hate being cold. And I'm one of them. Like, I hate cold. I don't like it, right? I hate it. Being able to do something you hate repeatedly gives me such confidence to be able to do the things I don't want to do. If in business, you don't want to go prospect strangers, but yet you do it day in and day out, after a while, you will be able to win that mental battle because you believe, because you've done it multiple times. Let me tell you how fast this can happen. What if you decide you're ready to get healthy and you're going to go jogging, you're going to start running. And so you want to do it with a friend, and you invite a friend like, hey, would you like to start running with me? We're going to go, like, let's get healthy together. Okay, cool. So you decide 7 in the morning, we're going to be running. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow at 7. 7 comes around, that friend does not show up. So you call them and they're like, oh, yeah, sorry, I had some things come up. I'll get you tomorrow. Okay, cool. You go run. The next day, 7 o'clock comes around, your friend's not there again. You're like, man, you call them, what's going on? Oh, yeah, today's going to be really difficult. My leg's hurting me. I'm not going to be there. The third day comes around, 7 o'clock. The friend's not there. You don't even call them because in just 3 days, you've lost confidence. You're not even calling them because you just know they're not coming. That's how fast, 3 days. That's how fast you can lose confidence. Or what if the friend did show up all 3 days? On the fourth day, they're coming. What if it's you on the fourth day that's like, oh man, I'm sore, it's hurting. You still get up because they're coming in just 3 days. My point is, guys, if you want to break this cycle of fear, of judgment, it doesn't take 6 months. It doesn't take 90 days. It just takes you doing what you said you were going to do, maybe just 3 or 4 times. Maybe if it's not cold calling some prospects, maybe it's changing up how you prospect. Maybe it's doing some presentations 3 or 4 times that you've never done before. Making a decision, executing on that decision, no matter what someone says. If you go jogging, what if they say, well, you're jogging the wrong way, or man, you're jogging slow? That doesn't matter. You're jogging, you're running, you're doing what you said you were going to do. That, my friends, is how you start to get confidence in yourself so that you can start winning. When other people you say you can't, you can, because you've done the hard stuff. You've got the discipline. It doesn't take discipline. Like, if you're just going to sit down and watch TV, scroll your phone, Netflix, and eat junk food, that doesn't take any discipline. Now, that's easy to do, but doing the easy things is not going to allow you to break out of this cycle of being fearful of what other people think and being judged, because that's really what it is. People are not afraid of failing. They're afraid of people saying or thinking they're a failure. And by the way, you should really stop worrying about what other people think, because other people you may think they really care, but they don't. I mean, the best illustration I've got of this is take a picture with 5 of your friends. And when they look at that picture, what if you've taken the selfie and it's a really good selfie of you, but you've got 1 or 2 friends that are like, oh, no, let's do that again. Is it because you look bad in the picture? No. It's because they don't like the way they look in the picture. People don't care about you. They don't care about us. They may say some things, but they're just so consumed with themselves. But we somehow are consumed with what they think. They're just thinking about themselves. A lot of times when people project these things on you, oh, your hair's green, it's because their hair is green. All right. Like if someone's worried about your weight, it's because they're really worried about their weight. If they're worried about your profession, it's because they're worried about your profession, their profession. So guys, listen, don't worry about what other people think, because they're obsessed with themselves. They're not really caring about what you or I do or think. All right. So just get over that. And more importantly, instead of being worried about what other people think, like you should be more worried about how you can impact the people around you than impress the people around you. Think about that. You should be more concerned about how you can impact the people around you, help the people around you, than impress. Impact over impress. Most people are wanting to impress people around them. Look at me, look what I can do. Forget that. Go impact people around you. And that will make a huge, huge difference in how people view you and how you go about your daily routines. Okay. And listen, take your shot, man. Like, I love the saying that you're going to miss 100% of the shots you don't take. take the shot. Because most times you are going to miss, but you're going to miss all of them if you don't take the shot. Stop worrying about what other people think. Take the shot and start building the confidence. As I said to you earlier, I've gone through this. I turned the negativity, I turned the judgment into fuel. I'm not saying that's the right way, but that's what I did. When this guy said this to me at that lunch, for a little bit, it set me back, but then it made me angry. And instead of that anger becoming a bad thing, I turned it into fuel. I turned it into, okay, I'm going to show you. So I got more consistent in my activity. I did more lunch appointments. I did more presentations. I did more prospecting. I got more disciplined in the activities that I was told I needed to do to build the business. And there's not a lot of activities to build the business, guys. You've got to sell. You've got to get out and put your product or service in front of people. Go out and do those, what we call money-making activities, all right? Or your DMOs, your daily methods of operation, things that make you money, not what keep you busy, things that make you money. Go get disciplined in those things, whatever those things are. And it shouldn't be a bunch. 3, 4, 5 things that you do every day. Get disciplined and do them every day. And you'll start winning. You'll start getting confidence in yourself through the discipline. And we've pointed out in this podcast, it doesn't have to be a month long. 3 or 4 days of doing the activities every day, they start getting easier and you start becoming more confident that you can do them because you've just did them the previous days. So you guys, here's my challenge to you. This week, do one thing that's been holding you back out of fear of judgment. And remember, you guys, it's not the thing holding you back. It's what people think of you doing the thing. Okay. So go do the one thing and realize people really they're just worried about themselves. Okay. If you fail, whatever. Okay. They're not going to remember that. Only you remember it if you let it. All right. So go do the one thing. Do one thing this week that's been holding you back. And then I want you to message me, tag me, DM me, let me know what that one thing is. I'd love to share the wins here on the podcast. All right. So you guys, I hope you enjoyed the podcast this week. I hope you can become more disciplined in your activities. Find some things hard to do. If it's not cold plunging, maybe it's the gym, maybe it's jogging, maybe it's eating healthy. Maybe it's eating healthy. Why do most people not do it? Because it's easier to eat chips and scroll on your phone. But if you eat healthy 3 or 4 days in a row, the 5th day becomes easier, the 6th day becomes easier. So my call to action to you guys is, go do some hard things. And just do it 3 or 4 days consistently. And you watch that each day after it becomes easier. And then other things in your life will open up. You'll start to realize you can do the hard things. Even when other people say you can't, you can because you've been doing the hard things. And if you do enough hard things in life, you're going to win. Because that's how you separate. John Maxwell says the people pile. You got to get out of the people pile. How do you get out of the people pile? Just go do some things that are hard because most people are just weak. Most people are just soft. Most people are pointing the finger. Most people are worried about what other people think. Most people are consumed with other people's thoughts of themselves. Just go do some hard things. And it doesn't, like I said, doesn't have to be super hard. Literally a little bit of hard will separate you from the group, and just go do that on a consistent basis. So I hope you've enjoyed this podcast, guys. And listen, we're all in the same boat. We've all been fearful of judgment. Just not all of us let that stick forever. And that's my hope for you, is that you can shed some of these people. You can get around some people that have been winning, have been doing the hard things, and that alone will help you. But really, this has to be an inside game, guys. This is not like you come to a podcast, you go to an event and get motivated, and all of a sudden you can do the hard things. No, that might help for a little while. The hard things, guys, that's an inside job. And that's what this podcast was about, is about getting your head right so that you can go win this game. So I hope you enjoyed this podcast this week. I'm serious about tagging me, message me. I want to hear what you guys are doing that's hard. And I'd love to maybe highlight some of that on the show. You guys have a great week. We'll talk to you next week.